cyberbullying. So we got cyberbullying. I'm going to share. Okay, can you see my screen?
It's coming up. Yes, we can. Yes.
Good. Wonderful.
Understand. Good.
Okay. All right, we're going to be talking about cyberbullying and what is cyberbullying. So it's not going to be a technical kind of meeting because we already have an idea of what cyberbullying is about. We know what happens with cyberbullying. Ada, thanks for being here. Crown, thanks for being here. Flourish Gate, thank you, Ma. Ify, thanks for being here as well.
Thank you, guys.
So Phinnah and I are just going to have some fun with everyone and the teams and everyone that joins here. If you have questions, please throw them in. And the reason why I decided to have this meeting was because about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when I started the YouTube channel, I created a video about cyberbullying. And so I put the video out and the responses were just incredible. The responses that we got. And I was thinking, okay, what's going on here? So it looks like because of the lockdown, the COVID-19, children and adults are actually online. So this cyberbullying discussion is not just about the adults, the teens. It's also about adults because adults do get cyberbullying. I've been cyberbullied, but adults, depending on how you are, you can manage it to an extent. So there's some by virtue of what we do, they're cyberbullies. So you can put a post out and somebody will start commenting and saying rubbish on your post. So we know those kind of people, and we kind of like ignore them, or we just block them, or we just dismiss them. However, it can be more intensive than what I've just explained. So, say for example, there was a time I was cyberbullied, and it was so bad, and it was a false allegation, and this lady was going to go to the media and do all sorts of stuff, and it really wasn't. I mean, it was just a post. I don't even want to say what it was. It was just a post where she just wanted to vent, and she was looking for somebody to use as her I don't even know her focus of her attack. So she just really came for the jugular. So I spoke to people in a group of mine that we are pretty close knit, and I spoke to them, and I was assuming that there will be a direction. So, but unfortunately, the understanding was not even there. What happened instead? They started creating their own posts, and we're pretty much on the lady's side. And I was thinking, I thought we were family. So when you are being cyberbullied, your child can cyberbully you. You can cyberbully your own child. So it's not just strangers that cyberbully. So that happened to me. It was really, really bad. It was just one person, and I keep saying it, and that's probably why I like him so much. Praise for Owe. That was the only person that stood up for me at that time. The only person. It was unbelievable. People that I expected to actually, be on my side. They weren't on my side. So it was really, really bad. And I wanted to even temporarily close my social media accounts at that time. That was how bad it was. And thankfully, what the issue was, I figured it, I saw it in the middle of the night. So a lot of people were not online at that time. So I was able to delete comments and places where they attacked me up and down. I just hid myself away from all that. And it was a bad experience. I don't know if you've had any cyberbullying experiences. If you've had a cyberbullying experience, you can also drop in the comment section. Phinnah, have you had any personal cyberbullying experiences?
To be honest, no. I've had teenagers who have had cyberbullying that have come to talk to me and stuff. But personally, on a personal note, no. I mean, I've had negative comments here and there.
But
in hindsight.
The minute we're online, nobody's going to talk about us. Nobody's going to say somebody's going to say I'm wearing a wig today. Somebody's going to say something. That's all right. That's okay. We can deal with that. Those types of attacks. Those ones are small. The bigger ones, though. So those are the ones that we're going to talk about today. Those sort of cyberbullying. So thanks, Zemife, for being here. Daisy's Wardrobe is here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Daisy's Wardrobe also has a YouTube channel, and she's doing amazing work there. So feel free to follow her. That's my sister. And shout out to Miss Toyin from the UK. That used to be a RonkePosh teacher. So it's quite exciting.
Oh, yes.
But it's not this YouTube channel kind of thing. It is the people that really love you that show up. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
going to move on to the next slide. I'm going to move on to the next slide if I know how. If
I
I know how. Wow, this thing is just something else.
know technology. So okay, you're
So
there.
oh,
You're there.
I'm there.
You're there.
So
Awesome.
there are different kinds of cyberbullying. So you can see my slide still,
Yes.
and you can still see me too.
Yes.
Good. So there are different kinds of cyberbullying. It could be a direct attack, a direct kind of cyberbullying, where you put a comment out and somebody is talking about you and saying something negative about you. And it can be an indirect kind of cyberbullying where you somebody impersonating. So
Mhm.
somebody can create an account and start attacking you, or somebody can actually create a false account as you, impersonation.
Yep.
So that can happen. Those sort of things can happen. So it can be direct, somebody you know attacking you, bullying you, maybe your classmates or whatever the case may be, group members, or it can be proxy,
Mhm.
indirect kind of cyberbullying, and it's really, really mean. So cyberbullying, there's so many reasons why people cyberbully because they are weak and they're looking for strength. So they feel like if they can leverage on somebody else, then it might make them feel good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's really no good reason why anybody cyberbullies, but it
Yeah.
happens all the time. And sometimes we're cyberbullied, we don't even know that we are being cyberbullied.
Mhm.
Do you know that?
Yes.
Sometimes we are actually cyberbullied. We don't know because we think it's okay. So somebody will say, "Oh, you look so ugly. Oh, look at that. Look at what she's wearing." Stuff like that. They're very subtle. So if you begin to tolerate those sort of things, it will build up, and you won't know when it goes out of control. So you
Mm.
really want to be careful about those sort of things. So Phinnah is still going to talk about the profile and the differences between a cyberbully and all sorts of things. So when
Mhm.
people are not unhappy, when people are unhappy, they also tend to cyberbully. When they're unhappy, they want somebody else to be in their own space. So let us both be happy. Let us both have a pity party. So
Mm.
that can be another reason why people cyberbully. When they have a low self-esteem and not feeling good enough, they're not being empowered in their homes, in their families, they're having challenges emotionally, or they are broke, or anything like that, they can also cyberbully as a result. And they're jealous. So that one is very, very common. Jealousy and
Mm.
envy. So social media is such that people post a lot of things that are fake. How many people really go out and post how miserable they are? Oh, I'm so miserable today. Here we go. My profile today is miserable. My
Yeah.
profile today is fine. Living room is very ugly. Okay, so I've been told that I'm talking too fast, which is normal. So let me slow down. Very normal. I talk too fast. So yeah, thank you for that. No need for perfection here. We just want to get the message out. So
That's
anything I'm
it.
doing, just let me know. I'm very grateful for it. Now, jealousy and envy. People project a lot of stuff online. I'm here now. I'm wearing this nice wig and I'm looking all dapper. Hello, I'm going to remove it in a few minutes. Now, if you come online and see me looking this glam, you can start getting jealous and you want to cyberbully me, but it won't work because my own skin is very, very thick. And then we have anger. People are angry at
Mhm.
other people and they want to cyberbully or they want to retaliate. And it may not be like for like. So you can retaliate, somebody cyberbullies you. However, there's some people that have done nothing and they still get cyberbullied. One very common reason why people cyberbully, they do it for the fun of it.
Mm.
Believe it or not, for laughs, to score points amongst their peers. They cyberbully for that reason. And some people cyberbully as a coping mechanism or for attention seeking. So they want to feel
Mm.
good. They want to be the popular girl or boy or man or woman in the office or wherever it is. So that happens a lot also. Now, there's different types of cyberbullying. I'm not going to read it in detail so it's not boring and stuff like that. But the common one among teens is that they exclude them. Yes, Phinnah, right? They just
Yes.
exclude them from social circles. So
Yes.
at break time, they go out, or
Yes.
perhaps you guys are going traveling, you're going to Dubai with your Ashebi and stuff like that. And then
Mm.
don't tell somebody that you guys are going to hang out at the beach or wherever it is,
Yeah.
and you remove
Yeah.
one hurts people. And there's
Yeah.
outright harassment and gossiping online in groups, Snapchat, on Instagram, TikTok. People insult, there's sexual harassment under people's
Mm.
videos. A lot of teens are creating videos these days, and a lot of people will just put a nasty comment
Comments.
there.
Mm.
It's so nasty.
Yeah.
And then there are people that they troll. Anything you do, they just keep on dropping horrible comments.
Yeah.
Anything you do, they follow you, they're stalking you, and it hurts. So they follow the abuse to hurt their feelings. So it's similar to cyber stalking. So the types of bullying, there are even over 12 types of bullying. I just picked out some that are very common and very relatable. Impersonation. I've talked about impersonation. So somebody can masquerade and pretend that they are you, or they can create an account that is false, and then they will start to do all sorts of horrible kind of things to people. So what else? Okay, so it hurts so bad. Why does it hurt so bad? Because it spreads like wildfire. So one thing, when bullying is happening, maybe in school or in the office, maybe 5 people know about it. However, when it happens in a group, maybe a WhatsApp group of 246 people, or on social media where the whole world can see it, it spreads like wildfire really, really rapidly, and it can be so embarrassing. It can be so hurtful. It can be so painful. And it can really ruin social networks because it so stigmatizes people. So you can imagine if somebody's nude, somebody's pictures that are nude were posted online, it can really, really ruin your reputation very, very fast. And have the potential to ruin the reputation in front of the people that actually matter. So your parents can actually see it. So the case that we had the other day of the university girl that was intimate with somebody else, and he went to go and show off those videos. I mean, for the rest of her life, it's going to be so difficult. I just pray that she's out of this country and has started anew somewhere else. But for the rest of her life, if people that know her will say, oh, even if they forget her name, can't you remember that girl? The one that was on Twitter that time, and everybody knew that she was, really, really bad. And people, it's so painful. And you would have a reputation, and just because of one mistake, and sometimes not even a mistake, and people still choose to do that. So, Phinnah,
yes,
tell me about the profile of a cyber bully. So I'm going to put my slide down so we can see Phinnah properly.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Profile of
a cyber bully. Yes. Thank you so much, RonkePosh. You've kind of given us the very, you've covered quite a bit on cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is gotten very common, and actually, to be honest, the more technology has evolved, the more cyberbullying has evolved as well. So whenever you see a new platform come out, be sure to see cyberbullies go to that new platform. So it's kind of been, they've just been evolving. And one of the things why RonkePosh has already said why she did this topic is that teenagers, you need to be aware of these cyberbullies. I know you may have thought, okay, your teacher spoke about it last year, you know all about it, but it's something that you need to be refreshed about all the time. This is not a one topic last year kind of topic. You've got to be refreshed about it so that it stays in your mind, so that you're alert about it. Because with these cyber bullies, they're very corny. They're very, very corny. Some of them are outright. Some of them come through little slight comments that kind of break your confidence, and you just never know. So it's so important that you stay alert. You stay important that you know these things that we're talking about. So with a profile of a cyber bully, a cyber bully is a lot of times they're introverts. A lot of times they're actually probably even victims themselves. They have been cyber bullied, and all they know how to do is retaliate on innocent people. So their profile is really, I want to use the word weird. But then, because you don't see them, you don't know who they are. But most of them, a lot of them are introverts. A lot of them are people who have been hurt before in the past. And we're not justifying their actions. A lot of them are people that are not friendly. They don't have a lot of friends. So they stay behind the computers or stay behind their phones and just be mean to people and just get a thrill out of it as well. So it's not as if they just do it and then go feel guilty. They actually get a thrill out of hurting other people. So one thing that we want, sorry?
Someone is asking, what can cause someone to be a cyber bully? So I have a question. What can create a cyber bully?
Oh, what can create a cyber bully? Yeah, a cyber bully is probably someone who has been cyber bullied as well. Someone who has been, who is quite weak. Sometimes some people are so weak that they want to feel strong. And the way they feel strong is by hurting other people. So when that quote that says hurt people hurt, a lot of cyber bullies are in that kind of category where they've been hurt and the only thing they know how to do is to hurt other people. So that's among the things that creates these cyber bullies. Also, as well, I would say ignorance. ignorance of people's feelings, ignorance, not having emotional intelligence, not being aware of how other people feel, how you treat others. Is that how you want to be treated? So a lot of people are so imbalanced emotionally that they don't care the consequences of what they do. So those are among those are among the reasons, or those are among the things that can create a cyberbully. And that's why today, as we're talking to teenagers and parents, this is something that parents need to be aware of as well. Keep an eye on your teenager, because your teenager can be normal today, and then before you know it, will start treating other people badly on the internet. We've seen that happen. We've heard of that happen. And sometimes they even think, oh, I'm not a cyberbully. I was only just teasing her. You know, Ronke, you said something about just making fun and just doing as if it's no big deal. But it is cyberbullying.
Peer pressure? How about peer pressure? Can you
talk to us about peer pressure? Peer pressure. Yes, peer pressure is massive, because what happens with peer pressure, I'm glad that you mentioned peer pressure, because what happens with peer pressure, guys, is that people fall into that trap. If teenagers are not strong by themselves, if teenagers don't have a strong personality and know who they are, they can easily fall victim to this negative peer pressure and join cyberbullies by bullying other people.
Okay.
It's a full circle. Yes.
So sometimes, you know, I know you work a lot with teens.
Yes.
So when it comes to peer pressure, what tips can you give other teens not to succumb to peer pressure? Because sometimes they don't even really want to do these things. They actually don't. They're from good homes with good morals, but they don't want to do it. What would you say to parents? How should they communicate to their children about peer pressure? And what do we communicate to teens about peer pressure?
Yes, good. I like that question, because it's so important. Because what happens with peer pressure these days is no one actually comes out in school and says, oh, I'm going to put peer pressure on you. I'm going to put negative peer pressure on you. The word negative peer pressure doesn't even appear in the teenagers' language. So what we now need to do is ask them questions like, okay, what are these things? Things like lying to parents. That's peer pressure, because your friends can come and say, oh, just lie to your parents. She's not going to find out about it. That's a negative peer pressure. Smoking, drinking, doing the wrong things. You guys, you know the wrong things. When a friend tells you, come on, and these are the common words they would use. Come on, it's no big deal. Oh, she won't find out. Or we've all done it. Oh, all the cool guys are doing it. Come on, come on. When you hear friends say those kind of things, teenagers, I want you to be alert. Those are the kind of words that when you hear, you be alert. You know it's wrong, yet they're telling you to do. But you know what? One of the main reasons that teenagers fall into this, one of the main reasons that teenagers fall into negative peer pressure is that they feel that if they don't say yes, their friends are going to reject them. Those cliques that you talked about, RonkePosh, they feel that they're going to be excluded from those cliques.
Yeah.
So they would rather say yes and then go with it and then bear the consequences. But one of the things that we want parents to start showing and teaching their teenagers is they have to be able to use the power to say no. I always talk about this, that use the power to say no. When you say no, if your friends get angry with you because you said no to a wrong thing, that's a big sign that friend is not your friend. Run away. Run. Because that friend is not your friend. When you say no, a friend who is a friend will say, I understand. That's okay. No big deal. Or the friend would even say, you know what? I'm not going to do it as well. That's a true friend. But when you have a friend who is pressurizing you to do something wrong, please don't feel that they're the cool guys. You need to go with the cool guys. When you have a friend who is pressurizing you are enough. You are confident. You are smart. Do the right thing so that your friends will join you and do the right thing. Don't be, because the problem with negative peer pressure, I'll tell you something about negative peer pressure. It comes back to haunt you. The consequences are there. They come back to haunt you. So be aware of them. Use the power to say no and start to know more about you. Because when you know more about you guys and someone tells you, come on, let's do something, you say, what? No, thank you. But if you don't know you'll be falling like, oh, should I do it? They might not talk to me. No, you've got to get out of that. Because what happens with negative peer pressure, when you join the bad guys and do these negative things to other people, do you know what happens? Later on in life, RonkePosh, you know, a lot of adults today, we go to a job interview. Yeah, you go to a job interview. This is what I want to tell teens that happens today. You go to a job interview and the manager who is going to give you the job was someone that you were in school with back in those days. Guess what? If you were among those people who did that bad thing to them, we can hear you a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, RonkePosh. I can hear you. I can hear you. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second.
What happened? I didn't touch anything.
Well, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I don't even know what it was. Internal speakers.
Bear with us a second, guys. Yeah, bear with us a second.
1 moment, sound issues.
Just bear with us 1 second.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, RonkePosh.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear you, so I need to fix that.
Ah, I see.
I can't hear you, so that's give me a second.
Okay, cool.
Output.
Okay. Do you want me to? Okay, she can't hear me. I was going to say, should I keep talking? Maybe I could keep talking.
Okay, let's try that.
Zimife, you say, how can we stop cyberbullying? Okay, I will share with you how we can.
Any luck? Can I hear Phinnah?
I can hear you.
Wow, that's 1 moment.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Why can't I hear you? This is weird. Just bear with us, guys.
Bear with us, yeah.
Some village witches just came in. Just can't even.
So to the guys in the audience, can you hear RonkePosh?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can hear me now. Awesome.
Wow. I don't even know what happened there because I didn't touch anything.
Okay. Well, at least you're back. That's good.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
All right, let's just take a 30-second break while I breathe, okay, guys?
I gave you my heart.
Okay, we are back. Oh my goodness. I was like, what's going on? This thing is more nerve-wracking than people see. Not even online. It is nerve-wracking getting the lights ready, getting the text ready, getting the banners ready, getting the trailers ready, and then technical issue, Wi-Fi issues. You have to pray that the Wi-Fi is stable and things like that. It's to have an amazing show like this. It's not just, So thank you all so much for being here. Please drop your names, drop your comments, tell me if you're enjoying the conversation, tell me which angle you want us to, because I want it to be really fluid. Has your child been cyberbullied? And what did you do when your child was cyberbullied? Has your child been cyberbullied? What happened? Let us hear about it. Let us know about it. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, my daughter was on a WhatsApp group. She was doing some animation training on a WhatsApp group, and they were asked to introduce themselves. And whilst they were introducing themselves, they told them to share the background they had about technology. And she kind of like shared that. So when she shared what her background was, there was this boy there. He said, "And you're a girl." And you're a girl. So you can just imagine, he was already sexist.
Yes.
So the first thing I wanted to do was like, who is that? When she told me, I was like, in fact, let me just get involved. But it's not always the right thing to do. Now, I'm not saying he bullied her. He didn't bully her, but these are the subtle ways in which it starts. Because if she responded or anything, it could kick off from there. Now, if your child is being cyberbullied, your child may choose to tell you. And your child may choose not to tell you, because your child may want to belong to the group and decide not to tell you that they're being cyberbullied. So it's a very, very tricky one. Now, if your child is being cyberbullied and they come and tell you in confidence, you need to handle it properly as a parent. And what you need to do is that you do not react. You respond instead. Yes. You don't react and say, who is that person? Who is the father? Where did they live? I'm going to that school. That's not where you start from. You really want to find out what the facts are. What happened? If is there any evidence, you want to capture the screen, the conversations, the emails, What happened? Did your child, because the popular thing now amongst these teens is that they're sending nude pictures of themselves to each other.
Yes.
They're touching themselves and are sending, and it's the last few weeks, at least I've had like 3 calls of people that have told me that their children were either watching porn or touching themselves and sharing pictures. At least 3 calls that I've had to deal with. So don't think it, and they're Nigerian children. So don't even think they can't happen to your own child. It can happen to your own child. So if your child, so next week, for example, we're going to be talking about pornography and masturbation. So please stay tuned and call your teens, invite them, and as parents, you want to know how to handle if your child is watching porn or is masturbating. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe so you can have access to the notifications. And I would also be sharing some videos on here. So please look out for those. So back to the matter. So if your child you find that your child has been cyberbullied, you don't want to react and start shouting. You just want to gather the facts first. Because some can be subtle and can be managed quite easily, and some can escalate out of control, especially when there are groups involved or if there are nudes involved. And this can get so bad. We've heard of people committing suicide as a result of cyberbullying. We've heard of people being extremely depressed because of cyberbullying. We've had people using drugs, using painkillers to deal with cyberbullying, even overeating. So you need to know the signs in your child. When you see your child behaving in a way that is unusual, so a child that normally doesn't sleep so much is sleeping more, or vice versa, or a child that doesn't eat that is now eating more, or vice versa, just unusual behaviors, a child that is isolating themselves, you might want to check. And you don't want to be a paranoid parent. So really, you really have to follow this because there's so much to talk about. So if you find, how do you manage your child's activity online, for example? A lot of parents believe that it's by spying on what they do. Now, when they're not around, I want to check their room and stuff like that. Seen all that on social media, check their rooms. You have to be a sharp parent. You have to know you can't keep up with this kids. They're very, very, very technology savvy, and they can hide things from you. The average parent doesn't even know more than this Facebook and this Facebook and this other one from WhatsApp. Say, for example, I told people to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Some people even assume that it was paid. So if you even have that kind of thought alone, then you know that there's a challenge. So the child can actually hide some apps from you, and you won't even know. They can create dummy proxy accounts where you can follow them, and they will be doing their own real thing somewhere else. So those children are very, 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 very smart. So what you want to do is to build communication and build a close relationship. Have rapport with your child and tell your child, if anything is going on, let me know. So if your child should come and say, for example, I sent my nude picture to somebody and they've shared it on social media, and your friends in church, they've all seen it. You know, I'm going to kill you today. You are dead. I'm going to kill you today. You want to spoil my reservation? I'm a deacon in the church. And you want to go and share your nude. You are dead. I will put pepper in your bum. All these sort of things. They are still happening. They are still happening. So you really, really do not want to go down that road. It can be so painful and disastrous. You know, it can hurt you straight in the heart. But what you want to do is not go down that road, because number one, if there's more to share, if there's more to share, the child will just say, just because I said I shared nude.
Exactly.
So if they know that I even acted in one pornography,
I know.
What then they'll just talk my head. So let me just leave this one I've told them, or not even tell them at all. And that is why I always tell people to stop this shouting and beating, because your children will not come to you and tell you things. They won't tell you things. Now, a lot of parents are killing themselves. They're calling me, my child watch porn. And I keep telling them, you did not watch porn when you were. If you did not watch porn when you were little, please, before 18, please, can you leave it in the comment section if you did not see anything like porn in your life? I really want to meet you. I want to get to know you so that you can mentor me. If you don't see porn, if you don't watch it, Phinnah, how about you? You've not seen porn in your life. Even if you stumbled on it by accident. You've not seen it, right? But actually, I've seen it, Phinnah.
No, I saw. I raised my hand. I saw.
Phinnah.
No. I'm not that.
Speak so nicely. And
No. You know, kids.
People tumble on it. People are curious to know what it's about.
Curiosity, yes.
It doesn't mean they're going to be addicted to pornography.
Exactly.
So don't kill yourself.
Yes.
I started on porn. I'm sure I was 7 or 8 years old. Heaven God knows what. And it was even curiosity. If you don't want to watch porn, make sure everybody in the house, nobody's watching porn in the house. That's number one. All those uncle was watching porn with his friends.
Yes.
And they told me to go and give him something. I entered the room. I didn't see anything on the screen, but their reaction. They were just clearing everything. Come on the television, you know. I'm like, what's wrong with this mad ones? You know, what's going on? What's going on? So when they left their room and they went out, I was like, what are they hiding from me? Let me go and find it.
Yes, exactly. Curiosity.
And when I saw it, I knew it had something to do with TV because somebody put a bed sheet over the TV.
Yeah.
So the movie was still in the what's they call that? The VHS. What they call that in that time?
Yeah, VHS. VCR.
Yes, it was still cassette or whatever it was. Cassette. It wasn't VCR.
Yeah, cassette, video cassette. Yeah.
So I put it on, and I'm like, what is this? What do we do? And of course, I got that new friend coming, and I sat and watched the thing until I got caught.
Hey.
And when I got caught, see, I got caught by my auntie. I think she must have beaten me so much I passed out. I think I passed out. I woke up and she continued to beat it. And she was still telling me, when your mom and daddy come now, tell them what you did.
Yeah.
You know, go and tell mommy and daddy what they did. So there was no way that I would not continue that beating. I had to enjoy it because I couldn't tell my parents what I was doing.
Exactly.
So please, who else has not watched it? Let me see the Crown Wall. Thanks for joining the conversation. So sweet mother, if you have said people need to learn empathy, kindness. She said
when we're talking about the cyberbullying. Yes. Yeah.
And then Crown said, I was already 16 out of secondary school when she saw porn, probably, and it nearly ruined my life. Please tell us what happened. Pastor Clem, can you hear me now? Miss Moyo, tell me that you've not watched porn before in your life. Let us know. So let's go back to cyberbullying so we don't digress too much.
Yes, I see a question.
Give me that example to say that we don't react too much.
Yes.
Because after a while, that experience didn't make me stop watching porn. In fact, it made me more curious and it made me more skilled at hiding pornography. I now knew how to when are they not at home? How are they? You know, I knew, what to target. I planned it so that I could watch it. So the children just get smarter. And now they have it on devices. So you need policies in your home. You need to discuss it. That sex happens, but it's not for you. It's on the internet. It is not for you. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your life. It can lead you down a slippery slope. It can lead to masturbation, and it can lead to you being seriously addicted to masturbation, and even gone the rise of rape that we have these days and age. The rise of rape that we have, it can also lead to that. So we don't really want those sort of things. So now, Phinnah, I need you to talk about consequences. What are the consequences? So when somebody cyber bullies somebody, because some people bully and they don't know that they're bullies. So your child might be a bully. So you go out and say, oh, my child is so wonderful, so beautiful. The child is the number one bully. Yes. Because mommy and daddy are the number one bullies.
Yes.
And they'll say, oh, my child got confident and I'm saying that my child is a bully.
Yes,
so
exactly.
What are the consequences? Please speak to us about the consequences of cyberbullying. And if you have any questions, please help let us know. Before Phinnah starts, Crown World Communication, the video clips kept playing in my memory for a long time. I prayed and went privately for a long time. Is that not because you saw the porn?
It's because now, is it? Yes.
Oh, dear. That's different. You see, it has, so someone who got emotional seeing it.
Yes.
I got hooked seeing it. So you see, it's, I'll let you speak now. You go on.
Yeah. One thing that I tell teenagers as well is that those pornographies, they're acting. So it's not real, because what happens, it screws the teenagers' minds of what's real and true
expectations.
Yes, it really screws their mind. And a lot of marriages get into trouble for that, because whoever it is that has watched it and just focused only on it starts to think that that's normal, that's the way it should be. but that's not really the way that it is in real life. Those guys are acting. There's camera on them. Act, stand this way, do this way, that way. So it really screws up the minds of teenagers, and that's one of the reasons why. That's another reason that parents can tell their teenagers why it is not actually right for them at this stage to actually watch it and get hooked on it. I see a question from Zimi Fair. She says, or he or she says, how can we stop cyberbullying? Now, we can, what we can do with cyberbullying, how we can stop it is by teaching our children the signs, teaching our children what to do when someone actually cyberbullies them, when someone does something to them, how to talk to us about them. Because if we don't do that, then the cyberbullies, the more victims they have, the more they spread. So what we can do to stop them, because we don't know the cyberbullies, we can't go and physically stop them. But what we can do is educate our teenagers, educate our children, give them the consequences, like the consequences we're going to share now. Give them the consequences, teach them. There's something I keep talking about: emotional intelligence, teaching our children how to react, teaching our children that empathy. Because when our children know that whatever they do to someone, if it hurts them, then they won't do it. Then it helps stop these things as well. So that's the way we can stop it. But let me come back to RonkePosh's question on the consequences of cyberbullies. RonkePosh did mention that people that are cyberbullied can get depressed. And from depression, it leads to, are you not hearing the number of kids that are committing suicide? Really, it's becoming rampant. I don't know if it's because they're hearing other teenagers commit suicide, so they're going for that option. I don't know, but it's becoming very rampant. And that's because people have told them off on the internet. And guess another thing that happens with cyberbullies, sometimes cyberbullies, what they do is that when they talk badly to our young people, there's a trigger that happens to our young people. First of all, that young person may already be being shouted at home. So parents are already shouting at her, you good for nothing, you this, you're not like your brother, you're not like your this, you're not like your that. All that has come to them. And then now the cyberbully says, oh, look at you, you're ugly. The combination of those two. The teenager is depressed. The teenager is feeling isolated, not having friends, not talking with their friends, low confidence. And guess what happens with low confidence teenagers? Low confidence teenagers that are depressed and isolated, they are the biggest targets for negative peer pressure. They're the biggest targets. I mean, the bullies out there can smell them from afar. So that's why when we're talking about this no beating and no shouting stuff, and you've known about RonkePosh's book about this. When we're talking about this, it's deeper than anything. It's not just, oh, don't do this. It's the effects are ridiculous. The consequences are ridiculous. So the cyberbullies can add to that trigger, and then your teenager becomes depressed, and then it takes forever. It takes a long time to get teenagers sometimes out of that depression. You can say, okay, I'm going to pray for her, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Prayers are good, but what else are we going to add to it? From a physical, from an emotional point of view, what else? How else are we going to build that teenager up? Okay. Not only are they isolated and stuff, a lot of times they don't believe in themselves anymore. So they start doing very badly in school. You notice sometimes some teenagers are very good in school, and all of a sudden their grades start dropping. And then what parents will do will now hit the children. Oh, your grades are bad. You must pass. Why are you not reading? Go and read 10 hours in a day. Go read. Go do this. Go do that. Not knowing that it's deeper than that. The reason they're failing in school is deeper than just that their grades just went low. Something is happening on the background. And that's why you need to sit down calmly, and get to the point. I tell parents this as well. When you ask a teenager, are you being bullied? A lot of times they will tell you no. What you've got to ask them is some questions like, go deeper and say, is everything okay? Is someone saying something that is wrong? Is someone saying something that hurts, is hurtful? Those are the kind of questions that when you ask, then they can say, oh, that's true. Yeah, somebody did tell me something the other day that I didn't find funny. That's how you get the conversation going. So don't say, oh, are you being cyberbullied? It's like the teenager will be like, huh?
So Phinnah, just like you said, a lot of people, they believe that when their children are being bullied, say for example in school, they'll say, go and man up, go and deal with the cyber. If they hit you, slap them back. If they slap you, slap them back. But when it comes to cyberbullying, that is actually wrong. By the way,
Yes.
It also applies to cyberbullying. So when somebody starts up with you, you don't start abusing them back.
No.
So if they start a nude of you, you don't start sharing your own nude too, because
Exactly.
it gets like really, really vicious.
Yes.
So depending on the medium of abuse, what would you say? So somebody has been cyberbullied, for example, and they're tagging the person and saying, "Oh, you're so ugly. I wish you're dead." You know, they say all these sort of nasty things. What would you say that the child should do first? What the first few things that the child should do?
And it depends on the platform. If it's to unfollow the person or if it's to block the person, those kind of things, do that first. Because you don't want to
And you know that some children also protect. They'll be like, maybe she was in a bad mood.
Exactly.
Because they want to belong to that person's gang.
Exactly.
Because even adults, they are nasty to some adults, but because they'll still buy their share because they want to go to the party and get customers to for their shop or whatever the case may be, and they'll buy their share and they'll go home and say, "You stupid share of 50,000 naira." They want to kill me, and because peer pressure. You see how we're linking everything together. So how do we manage this kind of scenario? What should the person do first? And when the child is making excuses for the bully?
Yes, exactly. So what we should do first of all, let the child, if the child can do that, block the person, unfollow the person. Don't think that if I don't follow, then I won't be accepted in that scenario. Also, the child should come and talk to the parent, the adult, a trusted adult, or the parent. Please speak to them.
So that's a good one, because some children don't want to talk to their parents because their parents are extra.
Yes, and that's why I said,
tell my mom now. She just
exactly.
I'm saying it, but I can be extra because I have a very good relationship with my daughter. A very, very, very good relationship. And there was a time when this bullying thing happened. Hers wasn't cyber, but it was happening. And then another issue happened, and she said, "Mommy, I want to tell you something, but please, I don't want you to go to my school." She already said it.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, what? So when she told me, I want to go to your school now, but I've already told her that you have to
promise.
They won't trust you and tell you anything. What do you have to say to that, Phinnah?
Exactly. No, that's spot on. Because sometimes we overreact, and they shy away from saying those things because they don't want us to go to the school, because they think they're going to be embarrassed because their name is now going to come out, and then it will be as if, oh, my mom came to protect me and stuff. So we've got to hear them out in that situation, and then now talk to them on how to deal with the situation. If they don't want us to get involved, then let's now share some ideas with them. And when we're sharing these ideas, guys, let it not be from of course, you and I, we know that it's not from a shouting point of view. It's not from a judgmental point of view. It's from a loving point of view. It's from a view that, you know what, I know you can do this. So what you can now do when you go to school, do this. When you go to school, say this. And then let me know how that happened. And if that doesn't work, we'll look for another strategy. So that it will almost be like now you and her are on the same team, trying to figure it out. You see what I mean? So try one strategy. If it doesn't work, come back to me. Let's try another strategy. So that it will be like two of you on the same team. So when she now goes to school and something comes up, Mom, guess what? I now did what we said. And then now this is what happened. So are we good? Then you say yes. So it will be, you know what I mean? Two people on the team were now fighting those guys. And they feel stronger, they feel empowered. And when we talk about affirmations, RonkePosh, affirmations builds them up as well. It builds them up so that in those situations, when we tell them they can do it, they remember, oh yes, they can. And they go out there and they do it. So it's about that continuous encouragement and continuous teaming up with them. When your child tells you, please don't retaliate, don't come to school, as RonkePosh did, don't. So that they can come back to you for other times. A lot of times, this is not the only issue they're going to deal with. There's going to be more issues. There are going to be more issues in the future. And you as a parent, you want them to come to you with those more issues. So you're protecting and you're building yourself up for the future issues as well. So it's very, very important. And that's why we must be able to control our own emotions as well.
Good. So emotional intelligence, very, very important. We have to be able to control ourselves, not being angry all the time, so that we are able to manage the situation. So we can't really give what we do not have. Now, we have cases where the children, for example, if a parent is watching this and saying, my child is already depressed. My child is depressed because they've been cyberbullied. She doesn't have any friends anymore. I've had to change her school from school A to school B to school C. And it's affecting my child so much. What do you say to that kind of parent?
To be honest, I would tell parents, and this is something that is growing more and more these days, get a coach, get a counselor, get a trusted adult to really talk to your teenager. A lot of times, as parents, sometimes, we do the best, we share the best, we tell them they're loved, everything. Sometimes they still need to hear that word from somebody else when it gets to that kind of stage where they're depressed and stuff. Get someone who is an expert in that field, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think we need to get away from the stigma of thinking that when we seek for help, to get out of that state of that thought, because it's such a wrong thought, and it puts us in such a we end up dealing with bigger problems than other. Get help while you can. The coach and the counselor, they understand that's what they do, that's their job. They're not judging you for that. That's their role. They know that's what they know what to do. They know the language to speak. They know the questions to ask that parents unfortunately may not know. So it's important that you embrace this idea of seeking help while it's fresh. Don't leave it to too long. A lot of parents leave it till it's very late.
Okay, so we talked about okay, let me come back on. So we talk about trusted adults. So people should children should seek a trusted adults, for example.
Yeah.
Now, there are children that have trusted an adult and as a result have been preyed on sexually or emotionally in one way or the other. So they've gone to uncle this and said, oh, this is happening, and then uncle starts touching them. And this even happens with preteens as well.
Yes.
Now, I want you to emphasize the importance of parents communicating with their children. Because if you don't communicate with your children and something's happened to the child is not afraid to tell you about it. So in 2 weeks' time, we're also going to be talking, you can bring your children on this show again. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to be talking about body parts. So good touch and bad touch. So please make a note of that. Mr. Dami, drop it in the comment section and I will put it on the screen as well. But Phinnah, please speak to that when somebody goes to speak to a trusted adult or even in school. So the child may be maybe in year 8, for example, and goes to tell a friend in year 10 or 11, maybe they're boys and they start touching each other, or girls. It can lead. So they're seeking for help, thinking they're talking to a trusted person, and then they get into more trouble.
Yes.
So what is the role of the parents to prevent that? And what does the child do? Just touch on that for us, please.
Yes. Very, very, very important. And you see, a lot of times when we're communicating to our teenagers and to our preteens, your communication is not only about that second. Your communication that you're speaking to them today is also building up for future conversations. I want parents to have this in their minds, because a lot of times we get stuck in the moment. We get stuck in what is going on then. They didn't do this, they didn't do that, they didn't do this, and you get stuck in the moment. The way you communicate to your children is going to help you or going to help them in the future. We've got to start looking at this way, and then you start preparing your children on time. I don't know, we've got to start talking to them. Okay, you know what? If so happens, talk to this person. I will come and share with me. And I promise you, I will not judge you. I won't criticize you. I won't shout at you. I think that shouting bit needs to be emphasized. I won't shout at you.
Absolutely.
I won't shout at you, so that your teenager and your pre can come and talk to you first. Because a lot of times they're going to talk to these older people because they can't come and talk to you. We want to be the first port of call if we can, or if possible. Unless we're not in school and they need to speak to somebody in school. But let us be someone let it be that we talk to them. We've got to talk to them about protecting themselves, their body. No one should touch them. Nobody that says, oh, I love you, not at this stage. Nobody should touch them, no matter how trusted that person is. If anyone is coming to touch your body at this stage, the person is not a trusted friend. Run. These are things that we need to start telling them now. And even if it's a cousin, please, guys, don't say, oh, it's only friends outside. Cousins, people in the home, the people that can come and visit. We've got to start talking to our children about these things, because these things now are becoming more rampant. From younger ages, they're becoming more rampant. So we've got to prepare our children on time. And then when we're talking to them normally on a daily basis, ask them questions. How did your day go? How was that? How are you feeling? What made you happy today? What made you sad today? Just ask them little probing questions like this will sometimes bring out what it is that is actually going on in their lives. But again, our communication is key. And if we don't take care of our communication today, then we ruin the chances of them talking to us tomorrow.
Thank you so much for that, Phinnah.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're coming up to coming towards the end of the show. But one thing I still want to discuss is blaming and shaming. So you have a situation where maybe this child has sent the nude, or maybe this child has stolen something and is embarrassed. He or she has embarrassed the parents in the church usually, or in society, and then they start blaming the child. Because you're too boastful, you're too proud. They start blaming the child. If you didn't do that, it wouldn't have happened to you. They start shaming the child. So the child's already feeling bad. And then the parent is adding to it, salt to injury. Can you address that situation? Because it's very, very common. Like, you're stressing me, you're always on social media. Why won't it happen to you? If you're reading your books, this thing will not have happened to you. Please speak to that for us, please, Phinnah.
It's a big killer of communication. It's one of the biggest killers of communication. Because if you're going to blame and shame, you're already stigmatized. They already feel bad about what has happened. Sometimes these things happen. Our children already feel bad. And then you come now to shame them on what they feel bad about. So you're doubling the trouble on them. You double the trouble. And these apply to parents and also adults in their lives who are probably even sometimes even some teachers will now add to that problem already. It's very, very dangerous because the self-esteem. Sometimes when I think about it, is when I hear or see teenagers who their self-esteem is so dropped, is so low because of the constant shaming and blaming that they've received from parents. It's not a good sight to see at all. And again, as I told you, as I've said it already, that low self-esteem now leads them. They're exposed to everything. So they're exposed to the pornography. You're saying that they shouldn't watch. That they will be there. The roaming, sleeping around with guys. They will be the first people. The victims of bullies, they will be the first people.
They use it as a coping mechanism.
Yes, it's a coping mechanism.
They use it as a coping mechanism.
Yes, and they go more to people who are attending to them. Oh, I love you. Come on, I love you. Somebody loves them. Their parents is there.
Especially those children that like their permissions.
Oh,
and
yes,
the gifts.
Exactly. So they run to those people, no matter how bad those people are treating them. They'll say, well, the person loves me. The person said, I love you. And the parent is there saying, but what happened? What happened? So. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to take a short 20-second break, and we're going to talk about schools. Phinnah is the governor of a school. She's a parent coach. She's on Instagram. You can follow her at Phinnah Chichi. It's Phinnah Chichi, and you have a teen one as well. Can you tell us what the teen group is about?
Teens motivation.
Teens motivation. Teens Motivation Hub. I'll scroll it also. I've scrolled your name already. Okay. So we'll take a short break. Flourish Gates, thank you for being here. Ms. Dide Olu has said, but schools need to know, maybe not directly, so that this can be handled strategically. So how can schools, what policies can we have in place as a school to deal with, to tackle cyberbullying? So that's what I'm going to ask you to speak to after we are done. And then we have some other comments like, keep that line of communication open all the time. Yewande Family Day, thank you. Professor Quadri, Dr. Quadri says here, is what they watch on screen contradicting no touching campaign? Yes, so they see people touching on screen and then we're saying they shouldn't touch. So well done, Phinnah, well done, RonkePosh. So let's take a break. Let's take a short commercial break so that if Phinnah needs to drink some water, she can quickly do that. It won't be long, it won't be a minute, but at least let's take a break. Thanks for being here, guys.
I gave you my heart.
Okay, is Phinnah still needing a break?
I gave you my heart.
I'm good.
Okay, so we're back.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. We are back. So now, what do you say to Flourish Gates? So what policies, how can schools prevent these sort of things happening in schools? How can this, thank you very much. I have Annabelle. Oh, Annabelle, how are you? That's my daughter's friend. How are
Okay.
you, Annabelle? Thanks for being here. Miss Olabode. So
Okay.
Annabelle also is a UK student.
Okay.
Annabelle, any case of cyberbullying that you've heard of, or have you experienced it yourself? So let me look for that question. I'm just going to find it from Flourishgate. So here it is here. Okay, so off you go, Phinnah.
Yes. Okay. So I think
The
in
stage
terms
is yours, as they say.
yeah, I think in terms of schools need to have policies on just having policies where you're talking about, cyberbullying, because it's something that is part of, it should be part of your policies. Cyberbullying should be part of your policy because now a lot of schools are using computers. A lot of schools know that children as well are using computers. So we've got to protect them. It's part of the risk management, part of the risk assessment, really, of schools, that schools need to have policies in place on how children should deal with cyberbullies. This can also, and with this policy includes what you can also have on your subjects. You can also have teachers who talk about these. These are things that children should know, policies that children should know about, what in their own, so the children are knowing about it, but not as in detailed as it is in the policies. Because when you have these things like parent governors meet and governors meetings, the governors need to be sure that these policies are in place. That's part of safeguarding. If these policies are not there, then that means the school has failed in regards to safeguarding. And safeguarding is a massive deal. It's a big, big deal. So for schools to prove that they are safeguarded and that they have all these things in place, they've got to have these policies for cyberbullying so that they know that they're telling their children. There's many ways that you can talk to children about this. And of course, in very age appropriate ways. But let it be something that children know in the school. Let it be something that children know that if I'm on the playground, a boy should not hit me on the bum. If I'm on the playground, a boy shouldn't come and touch me and say, "Oh, I was just joking." No. You now know, you also know who to report to, because on the playground, you would have teachers or teacher assistants just, hanging around and just watching. Make sure that the children know that they're free to go and report that to someone. So it's these kind of things that you just got to put in place and so that kids are aware of it. Because sometimes, I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes parents won't do it. So it's left for the school. Sometimes the schools are there to also help fill the gap in. So as much as sometimes parents may not be able to say it, then let it be something that the children hear in the school. And then sometimes you see that it's even the children that will go and tell the parents that, we learned in school today not to do this and not to do that. So very important.
How about the parents are in denial? Some parents don't want to believe that their child is a cyberbully. They want to believe that they have the perfect child. We have parents like that.
Oh yes. And it's unfortunate because we do have parents like that. And it's very hard to get through to parents like that. But what happens with parents like that is that when their children get into trouble, then they learn the hard way. So very important for parents to just keep an open eye. You might bring up your child very perfectly, but also because of the way that they are and they can be very easily influenced, they can end up being cyberbullies. They can end up being bullies in the school. We've got to talk to our children. If the teacher comes and reports our children to us, the first thing we shouldn't start doing is, no, you can't be talking about my child. It's not. You've got to go first and go talk to the child. Go and talk to the child, hear the child's own point of view. Because if you're calm with the child, if you're non-judgmental with the child will be able to confide in you and say, yeah, oh mom, yeah, I did that, but I didn't mean it this way and I didn't mean it that way. And guess what? There's a teaching moment for you. You've got a teaching moment right there. You correct your child, you go back to school, and we talk through it in the school. The child apologizes to the other child, and there you've got it. You've now cut that short. But when you're there supporting the child and say, oh no, my child can never do this, my child can never do that, you end up, there's no teaching moments. Your child will know, you know what, I got away with it this time, I'm going to get away with it next time. And they will keep on going. So it's important that we stay open to these situations and talk to our children rather than just defend blindly.
Okay, Phinnah, thank you so much for that. So we have the cyber bullies don't just become cyber bullies overnight. So even the preteens, with this online learning, we see that some preteens, even 5-6-year-olds, some of them are more dominant than others. So they want to be the ones talking during their virtual classes. They want to be the one. So those are subtle signs. They may not be cyber bullies yet, but they are signs. What do you have to say about looking out for children that are overtly assertive and beginning to dominate? What do you have to say about those sort of kids?
Yes, we've got to start. Parents notice that, but sometimes parents say, "Oh, they're just confident. They're the leaders. They're the leaders of the team." But make sure that your leaders are also respectful to other people and give and share. That's the thing about sharing and allowing other people to talk is something that we need to speak about, even because we notice it within siblings. The parents, if you're observant, you will pick it up between siblings or between your children and when they're together with friends. Share with them at that moment why it's so important that they allow other people to talk. They share things and allow people, because they learn from hearing other people. A lot of times when it's just them talking, they don't give a chance to other people. These are teaching moments. These are massive teaching moments for parents. A lot of times parents say, "Oh, but I don't know what to talk to them about. I only correct them I only teach them when I'm correcting them." No, but these are moments. These are times that we can say the advantage of sharing, the advantage of letting other people speak as well, because you can't be the only one speaking. If you're the only one speaking, then other people are not going to learn, or other people are not going to be able to express themselves. So you've got to allow people to speak so that you can learn from them too. And if you learn from them, then you get smarter. So you kind of coin it in that kind of nice way. So it's not like you're telling them off, but you're giving them the advantage of them listening to other people. And it helps them when they go out there, because if they're so into only what they're saying, only what they're doing, they lose out a lot of teaching moments. They lose out a lot of times that they as well can learn.
Okay, so thank you so much again, Phinnah. So
welcome.
we have a lot of numbers and helplines for people in Nigeria that need help when it comes to this cyberbullying, and we'll drop it in the description after the show. But we have places like the Ministry of Women Affairs. So we don't really have, we are like in Nigeria. God help us. But you can contact me. You can contact Phinnah, Teens Motivation Hub. So let me go straight to that place and put that. It's at Teens Motivation Hub, right?
Yes, it is.
Let's go there. One moment. And is that on Instagram, right?
It's on Instagram. Yes, it is.
Teens Motivation Hub. Okay. Yes, I got it right.
Okay, good. Because
so it's right there. So please contact Phinnah for anything parenting. She can help you, especially when for those of you in the UK. For those of you that are here in Nigeria, you can contact me. I will drop details are in my description already. I'm a member of the Family Systems Engineering Group in Nigeria, and we are able to help and offer support. There's the Ministry of Women Affairs, but that's when we're really going deep. When it's so bad that we might have to get the police involved. When it's just so bad, we pray it doesn't get to that. What I'd like to say is that prevention is better than cure. Don't let it get to the extreme where people are feeling suicidal, where we have to get the police involved, where we have to go to court and we have to meet parents and parents are fighting and all this, cyberbullying becomes something else. We don't want that. We want prevention. So try and talk to your children, and children, you don't have to belong to every group. You don't have to belong to every group. If something seems toxic, stay away from it. So what's something I do on social media, especially on Facebook, when I see that, after a while, some people just start talking about things, whatever it is they're going through. So maybe they're fighting with their husband at home. They just start talking, oh, all men are dogs. all men are bastards, all men are, they will have that theme going on. Or maybe like this time of COVID-19, and a lot of people are not paying salaries. Oh, all these employers, they are bastards. All these employers, they are bloodsuckers. They are this and that. So when you see that theme coming, because the eyes and ears are the gateway to the heart, you need to protect your heart. So when I see that those sort of comments are coming, and this person is going crazy, he going crazy, you going crazy. When you see people doing that, what I do is, there's a function. Just go to that particular comment.
Yes.
Click that comment and snooze that comment for 30 days.
Yes.
Before 30 days, that grace would be out of that person, and you've protected yourself. Because we need to protect ourselves. Prevention is better than cure when it comes to cyberbullying. Now, I'll tell you a story. A couple of days ago, a very, very high-profile educator, consultant, was being cyberbullied by a rat online. Because you find that this phone actually gives people some kind of hard-on. It gets them excited. And what they would not normally be able to say to people, they would say it because they have a phone in their hands. So these sort of things happen. So I keep saying that prevention is better than cure. I had a situation where we were having a chat once, and the person started saying, oh, RonkePosh, one of the cabals in education, and all those sort of things. So instead of me to drag myself to that level, what did I do? I said, Mark Zuckerberg, whatever you are, God bless you. Thank you for the block button. And I blocked. And I have peace. I have so much peace. The other day as well, we were talking about entrepreneurship and stuff like that. I was saying everybody doesn't have to have a business, because you don't all have to have a business, because not everybody is business minded. Some people are Jonathans, like in the Bible, their function is support. So it's not everybody that has business acumen and will be successful. Oh, this lady just started, but you have a business. Blah, 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 blah. I said, well, I have a business, but my dad never had a business, and he's fine. And he was like, oh, because my father is rich now. Blah, blah, blah. So I said, when did you even meet my father? So I said, you know what? This grace has started again. Uncle Zach, thank you so much. I love you. So I just went and I blocked me crazy. So you block crazy. Stay away from crazy. Because some of these people will not find you because of this device that we are holding in our hands. They will normally not, you won't find them anywhere.
They won't be in your space at all.
So it gives some people some sense or some false power. So we need to use the block button. Please use it a lot. Stay away. Don't try and fight back online. It can get really, really nasty, even as an adult or as a child. So we'll be rounding up. Phinnah, what help can people get in the UK and around the world? What sort of help do you, and you can talk about your UK, around the world. I know that there's more help. There are helplines. And when I live in the UK, there are hotlines where you can call and discuss and talk to people about issues that you're going through. And if they can't help you, they'll send you somewhere else. It's not so much here, but it's beginning to happen. So contact RonkePosh. We're able to do that. If you're being bullied, your child is being bullied, or if you need coaching for your child, maybe your child, you'll be beating your child and you now have a very toxic relationship, or there are issues that are going on between you and your child, please feel free to call me, DM me, and we can have a one-to-one consultation and deal with any issue that your child may have. Another thing, next week, like I said at the beginning, we'll be talking about pornography and masturbation, which is another thing that is high and rampant at this time. So we've heard of even men who would normally have a side chick. Because of the COVID-19, they cannot have a side chick and then go out. Now I'm like, where are you going, uncle? So they can't go out. So the alternative, so this side chicks are also come online, touch themselves and get paid by direct transfer. So we even heard of teens as well who are having in relationships online and touching each other online because they're not able to see their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And that's one of the reasons why I said even people are like, oh, let the bigger ones go to school first because they won't touch each other. These are randy teens. They can't wait to touch each other. They cannot. So COVID-19 or not, once you tell them 6 children go to school, they're like, oh my God, I cannot wait. So I don't even know what's going to happen. So I don't even go there. That's a topic for another day.
It's a topic
very, very important. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? It is free. It is free. There's a lot of material, there's a lot of content here. And what would you like us to talk about? So Phinnah is a very, 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 very lovely, good friend of mine, and she has her head is full. Her head is small, not big as mine, but it's full. It's packed full of information. Anything that has to do with parenting and teens, especially, she loves that. So, what would you like us to talk about? Let us know what stood out for you today. Let us know what stood out for you, and hit the subscribe button, please. Hit the subscribe button and share so that we can get this information to as many people. And that's why I've moved to YouTube. You notice I'm doing a lot more stuff on YouTube because I have to extend my reach to other platforms as well. Oh, thank you so much, ma. So Mr. Kitemi is here. She said, well done, very relevant. And this is one of the reasons why we have to be great educators. So she's like, was my biology teacher, but she's a mom to me now. So thank you so much for being here. God bless you so much. We must build relationships. She's just was at my wedding. She's always there for me for everything. Vijayani says, we need to pay more attention to our children so we can pick those up behaviors and address them immediately. Thanks. Mojisala, thanks for being here. Thanks for your comment. The block button is even bright red. Absolutely. You can block people for your own sanity. So it's very, very important. So Phinnah, please can you conclude by letting us know the kind of help that people can get at this particular time? Thank you.
I think, thank you so much, RonkePosh. I think, with help these days in terms of helping parenting and helping teenagers in the UK, we have the child line, and also their schools. The schools are equipped now to actually deal with these things firsthand. So a lot of times you don't even have to go that far. The schools are already there. When schools notice any form of abuse or victimization and stuff, they are already equipped. These are among the things that the school already has people that are trained to actually help them out. Or you contact parent coaches. There are lots of parent coaches and counselors. It's becoming, there are a lot now. A lot of people are being trained to help you out with this. The main thing in all this situation, guys, is not to shy away from asking for help. I think that's the main thing. Don't think that you can do this alone, especially if you don't know how. Seek for help, ask for help, and you will get the help that you need for yourself and for your teenagers. For me in the UK, and also I do it online, I do a lot of coaching with teenagers, and I also do a lot of coaching with parents as well. So it's something that the resources are out there now. This is something, once you type it in, go to social media, go on the Google, you would find someone that can help you. But you need to take the action to actually seek for help when you know that you need help. That's really important. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Phinnah, Chichi, Ikeji. Where am I? Let me see. Hang on. So here I've said that next week we will be talking about masturbation, and we'll be talking about masturbation next week, pornography as well next week, amongst children and even adults, so you can get the help that you need as well. Another thing that is important is the preteens are doing it as well. So you have children as little as 6-7 years old that are also touching themselves these days. So we're going to be addressing that next week. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you share and you let somebody know that we will be here next week at 4 o'clock talking about hot topics. In 2 weeks, we'll be talking about children, body parts and stuff like that, and how you can tell your children about it, because not everybody is comfortable doing that. And then the following week, we're going to talk about rape. So please make sure that you join us. Phinnah, you have been wonderful.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for taking up your time. Please contact Phinnah at Motivation Hub if you have any issues with your teens, to be able to address it. She does coaching. My daughter also attends her coaching sessions, and they are very, very empowering all the time. So make sure that you're following her on Instagram. She's also on Facebook as Phinnah Chichi Ikeji. So please make sure that you are in touch with her. I thank you all so much for being here and for joining us today, our first show. I'm just so happy. I couldn't believe it that it was just something in my spirit. I just felt we should just address it, because people keep saying that children are watching porn, masturbating, bullying,
all sorts of things. And then that video that I created that just people were just coming to tell me cyberbullying, that even me, I'm an adult, I get cyberbullied. That's okay. We need to do something about it. And to the glory of God, we were able to do it. The technical challenges, I will not tell you that it was easy to put this beautiful show on, but we are here. We made it. So please tell us what we can do better next time. If I talk too fast, tell me in the comment section, because I'm learning on the job. Tell Phinnah what she's doing that we can do better. Phinnah is great, but whatever it is that you believe that we can do better, let us know so that we can do it. And any topics that you feel we can talk about, let us know. If you want to be someone on the show next week, let us know and I will bring you on the show. But you need to let me know by tomorrow so we can create your flyer and begin to share publicly. So Saturdays 4 p.m. we will be here. Hot Talk with RonkePosh. Okay. Thank you. Serious. Thank you so much. DJ Ronke in the house.
Thank you guys.
I look at my DJ. They're not even on target. They're not on target. The time when we're supposed to be dancing. Come on, DJ. We're supposed to close the show. Let me use a trailer before they get themselves. Don't mind them, please. They're just learning. That's what happens when you have learners, eh? When you have learners on the job. That what happens. Come on, guys, what's happening? They're still connecting Bluetooth. We're not going to wait for you. We're not going to wait for you.
I gave you my heart.
I don't know what I'm playing. Well, the show is done, and if you've not subscribed, you better do so now. Follow Phinnah on Instagram. It's also on Facebook. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I see your comment. Well done. This video is very helpful. Demisha Tunde says, thanks so much for the enlightenment. I'm still single, but I've learned a whole lot. I can talk to the teenagers around me about. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I might even bring you on the show. Tammy, single life. That's another thing that people are battling with in Nigeria. That's going to be a hot topic. So how do you cope? Please be in touch, okay? Ada is here. Many thanks to both of you. You're very welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Crown says, thank you. Well done. Flourish Gate. Well done.
Thank
Perfect. Who said that? Zemi Basics. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
You are all wonderful. God bless you. Phinnah, I love you so much. You know
Thank
that
you
already.
So much. I love you too. Yes.
Thank you. I will be in touch on the back end.
On the other side, yes.
So happy
all
that
right,
this
take
went
care,
well.
guys.
For a first show, I think we nailed it.
Yes,
For
we
a
did.
first
Awesome. Well done to you too. Well done. Awesome
well
job.
done. Good job.
All right.
Thank you,
Take care.
This my DJ just woke up. See DJ. People are still online. Maybe they want to listen to the music. Come on, let's go. Come on. Why do I feel like I linger? My t-shirt didn't even show up. All the t-shirt I want to buy. T-shirt. Say the words you remember. Now we're here. Take control. Over your body, over your soul. You're gonna take back everything and lose it all. Lose it all. Lose it all. Feel it in your heart. Feel it in your legs. Feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. So now come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. This is that damage. So don't be falling from heaven and you don't go higher. Yes, I can't show them. I'm my mom that helps me with the technical challenges. We started today, but we made it. Thank you. God bless you. The rest, don't worry, they're here. They're all around me, but I can't show them. They look DJ, and they don't get that me. Now we will go back home. You want to see my dance? You're gonna have to subscribe and hit the notification We still got few more days to slay.
We have few more days till next week when we talk about more equipment and masturbation and safety. So hit the bell, hit the like, drop a comment, okay?
Lose it all. Feel it in your arms, feel it in your legs, feel it on your fingertips and feel it in your head. Just let your body, just let your body, just let your body go and move to the rhythm.
Our hands gone on the last person. So,
I wonder what I want today. Linger between the words to say the words
there's nothing about you can do on this show. Even when you go and get microphone, okay? Check it out. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Join us next week. Come on. Woo! DJ Dami, Slay Mammon. Make sure you play better jams next week. Okay. We need to have playlist for next week. Yeah, I love you too, Jamie. Thank you, darling. Let's talk. Send me the DM. 090-9999986. 090-9999996. Number 9 and 86. Let's chat. Oh, sorry, 87. 86 or 87. The whole hours. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you. Who are just joining? You're late. You should have come. 4 o'clock. We're going now. Bye. See you later. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Every moment of it. God bless you.